Kgalema Motlanthe, over to you, sir.
Good afternoon to Tate Mlangeni, and happy birthday to you, Sitwalandwe Saparankwe Mwetapili. We find ourselves ravaged by this coronavirus, and your birthday, which happens at this time when our country and the rest of the world is experiencing these ravages of coronavirus. Your birthday fills us with joy because it is a birthday of one of our most revered, humble, respected, hardworking leaders that this country is blessed to have. Andrew, when the trial, which sent you and the rest of your comrades to prison, the trial was officially known as the state versus the High Command and others, later popularly known as the Rivonia trial. During that trial, you'll recall that the state presented the late Patrick Mthembu as a state witness to testify particularly against yourself and Date Elias Mutwaledi. But because Patrick Mthembu came from Dube village like yourself, he never presented any testimony against you, but piled all his testimony against Elias Mutwaledi. And the defense team was staggered when, during one of the recesses, you confronted the defense team and demanded that they should correct this testimony of Patrick Mthembu because you claimed that you were equally implicated and involved with your comrade Elias Mutwaledi. And so that to us spoke to your courage and sense of solidarity and comradeship, that you were not prepared to gain your acquittal at the expense of your comrades, and that you were only keen, knowing quite well that the testimony could have sent you to the gallows, but you were prepared to take that because you had taken a decision that you weren't going to apologize for your activities because those activities were in pursuance of a just cause. And that's what sustained you, even through the dark years of incarceration, partly in Robben Island Prison and Portsmouth Prison for 26 years. And when you came out of prison, you took off and continued exactly where you had left off at the time of your incarceration. I recall you were in charge of the ANC fleet of vehicles, and because they were all registered in your name, but driven by a whole number of different drivers who collected a number of traffic offense tickets. And so when the accumulated amount of those traffic offense tickets cost you to be hauled before a magistrate. I remember your plea in that court. You said to the magistrate, look, I spent 26 years of my life in prison. Give me any other penalty, but don't send me to prison. And the magistrate understood you very well. I'm saying that this lightheartedly to indicate to you that you have lived your life with passion and action, and never shied away from making choices that now, with hindsight, to those of us who were not exactly in your boots, appear to have been, very difficult choices. But all of this is what really earns you the respect of the cross-section of South Africans, is what earns you our respect. And I recall also when you were in the National Assembly, you never, in spite of all what you had contributed, in spite of your stature as Isitwalande Siaparangwe, you never sought to be included in the cabinet of the day over a number of administrations. You never sought to chair any of the portfolio committees. You were happy and content to remain lending support and guidance to fellow parliamentarians. I recall you and Unkosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi were, contemporaries, and so a steady hand. You were a pair of steady hands in guiding the National Assembly through lawmaking and how to hold the executive and the other arms of the state accountable. And so this speaks to the title of your own biography, which is the background boy, because you've always sought to be in the forefront whenever duty called, but to be at the back of the queue whenever plaudits, awards, and recognition were being dished out. And through that way of leading your life, you inspired a whole generation. And most of our generation draw inspiration from the example of your life and strive to emulate the manner in which you've lived a life of sacrifice, courage, and giving, because you gave the best years of your life to our people and the country, and you continue to do so in the area of sports as well. I know as a patron of the June and Andrew Mlangeni Foundation that you continue the good work that Anjun was involved in, and you continue to interact with the younger generation as an equal. You never ever pull rank, you never ever use your age and stature to inform how you interact and engage with young people. You always do so as an equal. And for that, we are eternally grateful to you. We hope that we will be in a position in the future to build and create a society in which the only elites would be your generation of elders who had given their all to society and the young children. I know that it breaks your heart when you read that a young person has lost its life simply because of want. And this coronavirus has exposed and laid bare the fact that too many of our children still live in fetid and squalid conditions, and therefore hazardous conditions. And we hope that post this coronavirus, we will not go back to where we were, but that we would be able to pull out all stops to create this kind of society that you and your comrades laid your lives for. So once again, Andrew Mokete, ke mokete ka jeko lena re a o keteka motlokwa o phele o re philele hle. Happy birthday, Andrew. Thank you.